was doing earlier on in the stream I did probably about an hour ago. Wait, what time is it exactly? I mean, it probably finished nearly an hour ago. I had to go do some stuff, so I had to end it a little bit prematurely. But here we are, we're back, so we can get things done and finished. So we're still got to get rid of what we had to get rid of in part one, which we're going to do. I'm going to quickly go get a drink and then we'll start. So yeah, 1 second. This stream I'm aiming for about somewhere between half an hour and an hour long, right? 1 second.
Don't mind me sneaking round the corner. Really? Yeah.
Right, so the main goal is all the stuff. He's back, but temporarily for like a minute.
Yes.
Your stuff is somewhere. You found it.
And now for the dramatic exit. What's that?
Or idiot. Yeah, he's busy FaceTiming people, so it's just me for the stream. That's why it doesn't say featuring. He's only really in here to grab things. So we managed to get stuff done earlier. Let me show you. So we got the new TV hooked in, right? So I say new. That TV that we just took out is newer. That is a TV made last year. So Toshiba TV, right? This TV that you're seeing here is a 2010 Sony Bravia. Mostly because it has hookups and stuff that work with older consoles like PS2. And because this is the era with the 360, and roughly, I mean, the Xbox One came out 3 years after this TV was made. These consoles look better on this TV, and we've actually got all nice, neat, and hooked up thanks to Terrakiller T1. So big thanks to him. So we've got all the games and stuff there, and we're going to have to rejig all this, because I went out and bought more stuff earlier, which I will show off in what we did. I'm going to have to rejig this completely. Also, I bought a whole bunch of stuff earlier today at the Lego store, which we'll go over. Now, one thing I'm going to do, right, I'm going to put someone on in the background, right, because I've not seen what the picture looks like watching stuff. I will say one thing. The TV made the Xbox 360 and the PS2 look amazing. Absolutely brilliant. It utilizes them better. The other TV I'm putting in another room. I'm not getting rid of it or anything. And it being Sony, it's got brilliant speakers and sound. Oh, nice. Oh, yeah, you said you were going to that. I only have one event planned for the rest of the year. It doesn't mean I'm not going to go to other things, but I'm going to the Comic-Con in Ingolson. Me and Terrakiller go every year. We occasionally he finds more stuff than I do, but it's fun for content. So, yeah. Honestly, me and Terrakiller T1 are the same. Every year when we go to that, I'm trying, what have I bought in previous years? I'm looking around. Previous years, I bought the Battle of Hoth from 2013. I've bought, what else did I buy? biggest thing I ever bought at Comic-Con. There was a guy, right, and he was telling me about his eBay store, and on that store, he had the 2008 Death Star. That's how I got that set the first time around. Also, I've sold it, and I've come to regret that. But, guys, here's the picture of my new, to me, 2010 Sony Bravia. That's the picture quality. But for the Xbox 360, by the way, this controller came in earlier, I ordered it. That's the Gears of War 3 one. Looks really nice. PS2's over there, so that it does look quite good for it. Because here's the thing, right? I'm primarily a retro gamer, so to have my retro consoles plugged into something that runs the picture on them a bit better, it's worth every single penny I spent. £40 for that TV, can't complain. That one there was over £100 and just didn't give me the same effect that I wanted. So first thing we're going to do, right? I'm going to move this TV into the room where it's going, because it's going to still continue to be used. I need to quickly move something before it can go there. Right, okay, so I've cleared the space where it's going to sit, and we're going to go from there. Honestly, man, if my backup is, I always like to save something on eBay if I don't find anything I want. You might find it at the convention, but my warning is, if you've never been to a convention before, some places will charge you more in the convention hall, because, like, well, you can either have it now or go on eBay kind of thing. Right, so that's that TV through. A couple other things that need to be stored and put in places. So I've got the second Xbox 360. This was the slim one that I was using. I'm setting that up in the living room, so I'm going to go put it through there. There'll be a little bit of coming and going, but that's kind of how this one might be. Right, okay, so that's through, that's sorted. I believe this contraption is my Slim, the cable for my 360 Slim. That's going to go through there as well. But we're sorting this, and then we're sorting the shelf that you're sitting on with all the games. Like, all that needs sorted out. So, I made sort out my new additions. That's what this live stream's about. Right, so let me get that through. And then that should be it. Right, so that's that through. So the next thing. See, those sets are good. Honestly, I cannot think of any bad Clone Wars era sets from then. Honestly, you'd be fine. Right, so my original Xbox is going in the under-shelf storage because I don't have space for it on the main console stand. What I mean is, so this is my original Xbox from 2002, right? Don't have space for it with the other ones, and I'm not cluttering it up, so it gets to live under the shelf for now. So that's that sorted. Don't worry about that. It's cables. We've got to sort its cables. So the way I'm going to do it with that, the original Xbox, is if I want to play it, its wires and stuff are behind the TV, ready for use. Should I... Oh, that's not great. Should I want to play it, all of its stuff hooked into the TV, but the actual console itself won't be. Honestly, a set that I always thought was pretty cool that you can't really go wrong with. 2005 Droid Attack. And that would be right within your budget. There we go. So it's hooked up if I want to use it for the original Xbox, but you know, it goes either way. Right. So we've got this cable here. So this came with my Elite, the 360 when I ordered it. All this stuff here, I'm gonna keep. I don't know what the hell I'm doing with any of it right now. I don't know where it's going. Probably gonna chuck it in one of the backs of these drawers just now, actually. Out of sight, out of mind. Sorted. Right. So I've got all this new stuff to de-sticker before we put things away. So I picked up... God almighty. Right, I picked up Lego Batman 3. So I've got all 3 Lego Batman games with the new one coming out. Because, granted, the most recent Lego game I played, like, in terms of when it came out, I did play a little bit of the Skywalker Saga. I never completed it. I just thought the game was awful. Like, it did not, somehow, 15 years apart, it did not stand up to the complete saga. So we're just going to remove the stickers from it. I bought a whole bunch of stuff. I had an old phone sitting around in the drawer, and I was just curious. I valued it with CEX, and it was worth £100 in CEX vouchers. So, Lego Batman 3 is a new pickup. I'm going to get that video on in the background. Jago Hazard, the usual guy I put on.
I say, did you know that today's video is sponsored by Surfshark V?
Lego Jurassic World. I played that on PS4 back in the day.
Hello, my dear friends.
Yes, Wookiee Attack. Sorry, I confused the name.
The Art Nouveau stations of the early London Underground and the Art Deco stations of the 1920s, 30s and 40s. But today I'm going to talk about the era of design on the Underground that no one talks about. The absolute nadir of tube design. It lasted
Lego The Hobbit.
Some point in the early 60s to some point in the early 80s. It's a little hard to define. This was the era when the Victoria Line was built, plus the first.
See, the way that I
Jubilee
pick,
line, the
right?
Piccadilly Line extension to Heathrow Airport.
I'm going to turn
and
that
a
down
bunch of
if I
other
can
smaller
figure out where the hell I
projects.
put the remote.
I think the reason this era doesn't get talked about much is because, frankly, it seems like there's not much to talk about. The stations tended to be cramped, bland. Maybe you'd get a mural if you were lucky. And for some reason, the designers were enamored of grey. So what happened?
So basically, the way I pick what games I'm playing is I just hit random number generator based on what console I'm playing and how many games there is.
And the London Underground was no exception.
Most expensive game I bought, or one of them, would be Lego Lord of the Rings. I don't know why this game, it's more expensive on the 360 than it is other consoles, but it's the main console I play, and I've left the sticker on the Lego Hobbit. That's smart.
It would be over 20 years before any completely new stations would open. Which gives me time to tell you about this video's sponsor, Surfshark VPN. These days it feels like everyone...
It's on, I don't remember if I played back in the day or not.
So I like to use a VPN to give me an additional layer of security when browsing.
Lego Pirates of the Caribbean. The Lego games I found were a lot of fun, so it's something I was happy to rebuy.
And strict no-logs policy definitely fit the bill for me. But there's more. With those servers in other countries, I can access other countries' streaming services to get access.
So we'll take the stickers off these. There's quite a few of them, and
shopping online by taking advantage of region-specific pricing.
that is pretty cool. It's not a colour Lego particularly use a lot now, or do they still use sand blue?
Of course,
I've not got any modern sets. Michael, I'm now looking.
which can be harder to spot than you might think.
It probably is on sets, and I'm just not thinking about it.
Comes in handy. It works with Gmail using a browser extension to check your incoming emails for unsafe links and senders who aren't who they say they are, and give you a little nudge to let you know.
Sorted.
It's available with the service.
I'll try and get through this as quickly as possible.
This is sounding pretty good to you. Viewers of this channel can get 4 months extra free by going to surfshark.com/Jago or clicking the link in the description below and using the code Jago.
So this is something Terra Killer told me to buy. It's Alien vs Predator for the Xbox 360. He said it was a pretty good game, so I thought, you know, but worth one of the ones trying, and for £5, I mean, I'm up for it. So that's one of my more recent pickups.
The man behind the golden architectural age of the 1920s and 30s. This was when we got Gantz Hill, which opened on the 14th of December.
Assassin's Creed, I got the second one as part of a lot, so I was had to pick up the first one. The Wookiee Catamaran is one that I'm after, personally. It's one that I don't have. It's one of those sets that every time I've thought about buying it, some other idea has popped in my head, and I went to go buy that. Perhaps I'll include the Wookiee Catamaran in my 5,000 subscribers live build vote for when I get around doing that eventually.
London Transport was doing okay. Petrol rationing was still in place, so taking the bus or the
Sorted.
tube or one of the remaining rickety old trams into work was still a reasonable prospect. London Transport actually managed to pay
Lego Lord of the Rings, again, 18 quid for this. So I'm hoping this game is as good. I slightly remember playing this, so be interesting to see how that ends up being. Welcome to the stream. We're just doing some organising, and once we've pulled the stickers off those, we're reorganising all the gaming stuff. Because, yeah, I got to figure this stuff out.
Because the increased number of cars had increased congestion. Buses were simply no longer reliable. Actually, this is a problem we're seeing again today.
I'm kind of looking at my shelves, and I think I may have figured out how I'm going to fix this. I see a couple problems with the way I've got it done. So, yeah.
This was going on. A new line was being built on the underground. This went through many names. The King Vic, the Walvic.
They do, but they're part of the cool factor of the set. I have one of those clones. I do not have the Luminara. The only light-up figure that I own is Mace Windu. Sorted.
This was the first YouTube since the Hainault was finished. But it had taken years.
Right, this Transformers game, we're going to find out how good that is later.
Were devised in 1943 and final approval wasn't given until 1962. It was only an extensive cost to social benefit study that convinced the powers that be to allow London Transport.
Yeah, I'm going to get all these stickers up and thrown out, otherwise I'm going to be finding these for a while, all these.
Attached to existing stations. In other words,
Nah, those 2005 sets have definitely got a really cool aura about them. I don't blame you for wanting those. They're pretty damn cool.
Well, in theory there wasn't, but in practice you can't just stick an extra set of platforms under an existing station and assume it'll be fine, and these new stations tended to get rather overcrowded.
Sorted.
There were instances of stations getting rebuilt to accommodate the Victoria line, and the results were...
Take this and move the chair. I've chucked up the bed just to give myself some standing space. But yeah, Terror Killer is away in the other room on his PS5 FaceTiming, so he probably won't appear in this one again. That's why his name's not in the thing.
Kennington station down the line. I describe the current building as looking like one of those secret entrances to a Cold War bunker. You know what I mean? Like it's deliberately trying to be anonymous. At platform level,
Sonic Generations, another one that Terror Killer recommended I pick up, so, you know,
that being
I
said,
picked it up.
they employ artists to produce tiled murals for each of the stations, which are a highlight. I mean, honestly, best feature of the Victoria line, in my opinion. It's
Sorted.
a shame that the platforms in general feel so
I
utilitarian.
did pick up quite a bit, to be fair. Star Wars The Force Unleashed, but this is like the ultimate Sith pack. It lets you fight with original trilogy characters and stuff. I don't remember if I played this. I played 1 and 2 years ago.
Money out of the sites they occupied. Here at Lancaster Gate and here at Archway, the station's entrances.
This game has a cool case. I do like this.
They seem almost embarrassed to be stations. There were many other instances of stations getting one-off rebuilds during this period, and if I were to go through all of them, the results would be a very long and
There we go.
frankly depressing.
Looks better.
I just use these two
I am
examples.
planning at some point to do an Xbox 360 game collection video. A lot of people have actually went and asked me to do that.
Which originally consisted of 2 stations, Hatton Cross and Heathrow Central, now Heathrow Terminals 2 and 3.
For all you know, and this happens to me every time I go to one of these things, you might find something you weren't looking for, but once you see it, you might go, well, I actually do want that. Like, I wasn't looking for the 2013 Battle of Hoth last time I went to a convention, but I found it. I wasn't looking for Anakin's Y-Wing, the Clone Wars one from 09. I found it. Honestly, that's kind of how it can happen. Like, I mostly go for the day out at this point with these events. I don't find a lot. Like, now that I've been collecting the Star Wars action figures, I may have, like, some other thing that I can go and dare and enjoy. Speaking of which, you guys have really been enjoying, like, I've noticed something. I wasn't sure if you would, but you have been eating up the content that I made on the action figures. That's doing really well. So, the game I bought, GoldenEye 007. So I think I have all the James Bond games for the 360 now.
Whatever your opinion on brutalist architecture.
So I did pick up a couple movies and TV shows. I picked up Akira. So I recently saw this. This movie is from 1988, right? It was re-released in the cinema. Me and a co-worker went to go see this, and I'm going to show. Terror Killer's not seen it, so I thought it'd be worth picking up. And you know, I've got a small collection of anime-related DVDs, so Akira. Having seen that, I really wanted to add it to it. And the DVDs don't get that top right sticker majority of the time. Well, the Blu-rays seem to have it, because I've got a Blu-ray coming up next. No, wait, the Blu-ray is the smallest case here. That'll go last, but yeah, we've got Akira.
Still some grey, but you know, addictions take some time to recover.
I have 3 more, like, main-size ones. So this is Star Wars The Clone Wars Season 1, Volume 2. He does. I have one on my Complete Saga stand. You know, obviously it's on Disney Plus, but it'd be kind of cool to own it physically, depending on how much of it I can find.
It's kind of old school, but not dated. By the 80s, things were getting bolder still.
And of course, we've got Season 1, Volume 1. It's kind of a cool thing just to have on the shelf as well.
The underground had seen in decades, like here at Surrey Quays. Just for the benefit of newcomers, these are now overground stations.
So with the CEX voucher that I got from selling my phone, my old phone, this is what I got. I didn't think I would get that much for the phone. This is the case. But, you know, I surprised myself.
1999, and here I think we can say that the dark age of underground architecture was at an end. The stations here were bold, distinctive, even breathtaking.
Another one, this is something Terror Killer spotted randomly, and this is something I remember watching as a kid. I don't have to see it. You'll probably find it on YouTube, The Adventures of Clutch Powers. He does appear in a Lego Ninjago set. But I found someone who's made customs based off this movie.
district, London Transport.
Minifigures, so I'm going to pick them up at some point, just for the nostalgia.
Hypocrite here, having complained about grey stations and brutalist designs.
Sorted.
But there's grey and brutalist, and there's grey and brutalist.
So this is the only Blu-ray I got.
I suppose you'd be right.
All right.
It doesn't
The movie Alien.
station is a brave architectural statement or a hole in the road as long as it works. But I think
I need to fix his yellow legs. I've just not gotten round to it yet.
Deserve nice things. And it turns
Oh, and if you saw my community page, I am going to have another series just like that starting this year for another Lego video game. Alien on Blu-ray, just going to get one more sticker off.
Obviously, this kind of thing is highly subjective. I dare say there are plenty of people in the audience who think the Jubilee line is ugly and dated. And there may well be those who think I'm a Philistine for not appreciating the Victoria line. But these are my opinions.
And this is all what I got with my voucher that I was reading. Granted, some of these games are £15 to £20 a pop, so I bought a couple more of the more expensive games with the voucher. And I'll just drop that remote control as well. So,
The Jubilee line by Mike Ward. I would like, as always, to thank my donors on Ko-fi, on Patreon, and
so
here on
before we organise that back shelf, I picked up
I'd also like to thank
one big box, sorry, one little box, this big box here, and another one of these boxes. They're for the upcoming project I've been mentioning, so I'm actually going to keep them in the Lego bag. I've had to order the base plate that this will sit on. So you'll get to see what this is about in some upcoming live streams. So that will be going over here for now. Until it can be fully utilised. So that's sorted. So here's for the fun bit, right? All these games and stuff, I'm going to try and, apart from Lego, I'm going to try and take everything off and rearrange it in a way that works better. So, yeah, let's get it all down. So all this Lego has to come off first, right? These figures do anyway.
$800 million to $150 million.
But starting tomorrow, this shelf is getting a makeover. So the constant streams are going to keep coming. It is going well.
Inside, things are much better. There's drowned catwalks, broken elevators, and crumbling offices. And it's all being made much worse by a complicated New York land leasing law that's basically bankrupting the building's owners. It's all pointing
So I'm not going to dump it all in the bed like I sometimes do. You know what? Am I? It randomizes it because I use random number generator, so it'll randomize the games again. Because I figure out what numbers are each games, and that annoys me. So, you know.
the building, but not around underneath it. That it means the owner of the building has to rent to the owners of the land. Now that complicates the ownership structure tremendously, and it's already
Right.
very complicated.
Well, the PS1 games will probably stay where they are. Because I don't think I really need to fix. Damn, God damn it, they're falling. Yep. Oh, and I broke that. Great.
And yes, they did.
Right, okay.
It was originally built and owned by the company's founder, Walter Chrysler, in 1930, not by the Chrysler Corporation itself. Walter
Right,
Chrysler
let's keep going.
intended the Chrysler
30 minutes in. I'm aiming to have this done by the hour point.
assets. And it did until 1953, when it was purchased by developer William Zetterberg, the man behind the UN headquarters and the guy responsible for reshaping much of Manhattan during the 50s and 60s. He wanted the building as a trophy. After him, ownership passed through several industries during the 70s, New York's turbulent real estate era. Eventually, in 2008, it ended up owned by an Abu shabby investment. RFR then defaulted on their loans and went into receivership in 2024. As of 2025, it's effectively controlled by RFR's lenders, and the building is once again up for sale.
Right, I'm gonna move this stuff. So I'm gonna try and keep this section I've got over here, which all like the kind of sealed stuff. I'm gonna get another drink. 1 second.
In 1902, before the Clyde building and before, well, much of New York as we know it today, this parcel of land was bought by Cooper Union. Cooper Union was a private college founded in 1859 by the industrialist and philanthropist Peter Cooper. It was known, ironically, for its schools in architecture and engineering. The land was bought
But yeah,
as a way to help fund the college.
Because of this asset and the rent, they've been able to collect millions and millions of dollars over the years. They are
I'm
able,
thinking.
or have been able, to keep the school free for a long time.
This land leasing agreement continued when the Clyde building was sold to a new owner. In fact, not only did it continue, but it increased.
to take some of these gently down.
Whoever owns the building has to pay $32.5 million to Cooper Union annually. And that number is set to go up. By 2028, it's going to be 41 million.
Yeah, that sounds about right to be fair.
2038, it'll be 55 million. Originally, the owner of the Chrysler building mostly made a profit by leasing out the offices. But perhaps somewhat surprisingly, no one wants an office in the Chrysler building anymore. At least not.
So this is my Blu-ray collection so far. I'm obviously adding to it. So I'm gonna have to move all that. I did add to it the other day as well. You may have seen on stream, like I've not even been able to slot it in, but you know, apparently I'll drop it. John Carpenter's The Thing. So that's coming out, and that, for now, until I build this project I've got coming, that and the falling again, but I've created space.
Internally, there are reports of brown tap water, lifts breaking down, and electrical work that's not up to par. New York's.
So here's how I'm going to do it, right? I'll show you. So, over here I'll put the original Xbox games, Xbox One games and Blu-rays just so they're out the way. There'll be 360 stuff along to the PS2. I think that's the most reasonable way I can make this work without I'll slightly future-proof it. So I'm just going to get started. So we've got Indiana Jones, like there's a few good games for the original Xbox.
But that's the problem. We're talking about blueprints that were drawn up nearly a century ago.
There we go.
Decades of maintenance and alteration.
So that's Blu-rays. I can throw that there just now. 2, 3, and I want 4 stacks when it's all said and done of Xbox 360 games. I'm going to put this through in with the other 360. I'll be right back.
For a project like this, large, complex, and demanding, the S2 LiDAR scanner could really save the day. It can capture the facade of a building in the context of its surroundings, including large-scale and multi-level environments. All of this data is recorded in rich detail with integrated GNSS or georeference data. And if you're working on something a little less challenging than the Chrysler building, FJD Trial's got that covered too. The P2 LiDAR scanner offers a really strong balance of detail and flexibility. For smaller projects, the V4E LiDAR scanner gives teams a more straightforward and budget-friendly way to capture reality without overcomplicating the process. With the FJD Trial model, that scan data can be easily processed into outputs that fit directly into project workflows. There's even one-click Revit integration, which makes Scan-to-Bin much better.
I'm back.
You can try it for yourself by scanning the QR code on screen or heading to the link in the description. Technology like this is vital for retaining historic buildings. Before we can fix the building, we have to understand
That, I've always wanted to build the mock going up with the 8080s. That's been an idea of mine a few times. So we'll aim for 4 stacks of games. Plus changing up. So basically, I was using random number generator. But say you go down 17 games from a stack and it's Minecraft, I already knew what numbers were what, so this helps it randomize a little bit. We'll try and stick to 3, right, and see how far we get.
But its design and price were the result of an intense competition. The rivalry of two aspects very different.
The PlayStation 2 stuff there. That is Xbox 360.
Known today as
That is Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. That is another original Xbox game.
it was a battle to dominate.
That's Star Wars Old Republic. That's Medal of Honor for the original Xbox.
Were locked in a race.
I do have a lot for the original Xbox, but I've started to get into collecting them. Yes, it's not a console I use a whole bunch, but that's purely due to like setup. The PS2 wins on that one. Gears of War 2,
As both powers rose,
Gears of War,
ruthless. Plans would be
Time Twisters, or Time Splitters rather. Modern Warfare 3, Connected. I don't know why the hell I have Connected Ventures. I don't have a Kinect sensor.
The structure was pushed close to the limits of its foundations, and for a brief moment it worked. When it was completed in 1930, 40 Wall Street was the tallest building.
It is hard to get those now because Lego just ain't putting them in sets.
Uptown, acquired the building, Van Allen.
Lego needs to stop strictly doing Phase 1 stuff, Phase 2 stuff, and give us a bit of, you know, OG Clone Wars stuff.
Once the 40 Wall Street had turned out, the spire of the Chrysler building was hoisted up through the roof and locked into place, adding 36 meters in a single stroke. Overnight, the Chrysler building claimed its crown. But it wasn't just its
What felt like, look, Star Wars Starfighter for the PS2 there.
Van Allen or several car-centric amendments. There were gargoyles on the facade.
Star Wars The Force Unleashed 2.
Similarly, ornaments on the 31st floor were models of the Chrysler radio house. Then there's the crown.
No, as we go here, Grand Theft Auto 5, Call of Duty Ghosts, Call of Duty 3. They're not going in any particular order other than by console, just purely because I take... See, once I'm able to have them on a bookshelf arrangement in the future, then I'll do that. It's Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, Gears of War 3 is there.
It was then eclipsed, just like 40 Wall Street before it. This time by the Empire State. Today, it's fair to say that
Lego Batman 3.
lost the solid shine. The surrounding Midtown skyline has evolved with Gothia,
Some GT racers for the PS2. And television for the PS2. Lego The Hobbit.
With large portions of the ground floor and lobby unoccupied and unused.
Whole bunch of PS2 games here, Medal of Honor, International Supercarts, The Getaway, Lego Star Wars 2, Medal of Honor, Rising Sun, that's all PlayStation 2 stuff.
It also needs a lot of love. Like, it needs a lot of work to be brought into the 21st century so that it can compete for A-plus tenants with the likes of all.
So that's a duplicate that I got for a lot, so anything like that's going to go there.
But would you want to work
It's a
here?
Blu-ray,
Maybe right now, not so much.
Halo 3,
Heritage listing and its status as a national historic landmark. While the building doesn't actually receive
Wolfenstein. That is a Wolfenstein, right? The New Order for Xbox 360 is a really fun game. Like World War II stuff, absolutely brilliant. Alien vs Predator, again, one of those today's pickups that I have not played yet, but we'll probably play at some point.
there is the deteriorated lobby ceiling, which is oftentimes covered in tape. The revolving doors regularly jammed, the lifts often are functioning.
Call of Duty World at War for the 360. It's a Blu-ray. Batman Arkham Asylum.
Ongoing pest control challenges kind of point to gaps in modern ceiling.
There's a whole bunch of PS2 games.
Much of the bigger issues
Vice City, Star Wars Bombard Racing, The Getaway, Black Monday, all up there.
and in desperate need of restoration. The original 1930s
Alan Wake and Forza Motorsport 3.
walls leak air and, unsurprisingly, are pretty poorly insulated. I mentioned those reports of brown water a couple of times earlier, and that's probably due to corrosion or supply.
watched Odyssey.
The question becomes, is it Chrysler building a world-class place where a top-tier tenant would pay top dollar? And the answer at the moment is absolutely yes.
007 Quantum Solace. Again, I've been collecting those kind of games lately.
Financial and great
Couple PS2 titles.
of upgrading the building.
Star Wars Battlefront and Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance.
Their estimate is this is going to be a $150 to $200 million job to get this building up to snuff.
Because the building is landmarked, any exterior or interior changes require approval from the city.
Honestly, these characters, it's weird for me because I remember when these characters were so cheap and accessible.
Everything because I have got
It's nuts how that happens.
that I am finally allowed to share. Last year, someone around the house asked me if I'd like to write a book. I said yes. I've written a book, and here it is. It is called Mega Builds: 10 Colossal Construction Projects that will change our world. Over the last 10 years, I have had a front row seat some of the planet's most incredible construction projects.
Do I? Would that work? No,
I've
no.
written about them. I've gone deeper than I've ever gone before in any video, story.
Right, we'll see how this goes for now.
Documentary. This is behind the scenes. It's up close and personal. It meets the team with the humans.
I'm going to stop naming the games and just get to it.
It's my personal experiences and some of the calamities I've had along the way getting up close to these projects. I have really enjoyed writing this.
Now, those are movies, so I'm going to categorize them differently.
No one actually goes wrong. It's me. I wrote this. Every single word of this has come from my head into my laptop and then into this book. All for your reading pleasure. Guys, I never thought I'd write a book, but I have. And obviously, I actually kind of think it's quite good. It is available to pre-order now. The link is below. Pre-ordering is incredibly important. Basically, my entire future happiness depends on you pre-ordering this book. So, guys, if you love the BLM, if you love these stories, if you love
Alien Noir, South Park, The Stick of Truth. I'll look at the comments in a moment. I'm just trying to get this done.
Go and pre-order my book, Mega Builds, today. So, where is there an experience of retrofitting old iconic buildings to suit the modern today? Well, let's look to a city absolutely jam-packed with huge historic buildings. London. One of the most famous examples in recent times.
Some movie I picked up recently,
You
Spaceballs.
might recognise it from the cover of Pink Floyd's Animals,
Hmm.
or when it was used as wreckage in The Dark Knight. It's the last part that many Londoners are going to be familiar with, because for the better part of the 21st century, this iconic building, the largest brick building in all of Europe, was left abandoned. Battersea Power Station wasn't demolished, largely because it was granted Grade 2 listed status in 1980. That legal protection meant restoration. As one of London's most recognisable industrial landmarks, its cultural significance ultimately secured its future, even after decades of dereliction and a string of failed schemes. By becoming a mixed-use destination, the power station was able to fund its own survival.
Oh, the new Commando droid.
It's a thriving hotspot for this.
I've got some interesting thoughts on that thing. I'm not sure how I feel about it. It's one of those ones I'm still trying to figure out for myself. Right, we are having a fourth stack of 360 games because, god damn it, I don't stop buying them.
With developers working around the famous triangular floor plan. Notoriously, the Walworth building, which was also once the tallest building in the world, converted its top floors into a luxury penthouse and then sold that for $110 million.
All the Lego games are next to each other.
100 times
Well, most of them are.
median home price. It's an insane price tag, but one that would certainly go a very long way to helping fix the Chrysler Building's financial woes. Imagine living inside the most famous crown in the world.
The Woolworth building famously underwent other conversion on the top floor, but it's been a complete disaster of a punishment. There have been others that are seemingly more promising. The Flatiron building, again, another iconic building, so synonymous with the New York skyline. That is being converted.
Finally, this is working because the last couple of days it's been a mess. There's still bits to fix and to sort, but
This is a problem with
the main goal was get all the Xbox 360 stuff, which I'm just checking. I think we have. We'll probably find one or two more. Pretty much into one place.
It would be tremendously difficult to knock down any of these buildings. These first skyscrapers were over-engineered because nothing had been built that tall before. They have immense steel skeletons
Right, let's get the Xbox One games sorted.
Steel for intense durability. Secondly, skyscrapers like the Kuiper building are protected. Even if there is a temptation to build something taller with more sellable space, that can only happen if the building went beyond repair. It's probably more likely that the interior is going to be retrofitted like Battersea Power Station or the Woolworth building.
We've certainly seen a flurry of office to residential conversions in parts of
Let's get movies, right, in there. So we're probably going to watch Akira later.
Net absorption, which means the net amount of space that is leased, is at the highest it's been in a quarter century.
It means the office is back, especially in Midtown. Maybe all the Chrysler building needs is a little love.
Now, there are certainly things you could do, like put in top-tier restaurant concepts, maybe do some really innovative things with the retail plaza, depending on who the buyer is and what they have access to.
That photo I'd rather put into a case. That will be something we tackle tomorrow. So I think that space is better used for other things.
So what happens now? One of the building's former owners, developer Tishman Speyer, is eyeing up again. They first took ownership in 1997 for a cool $218 million and undertook its most recent renovation in 2000. Back then, the real estate investment company spent $100 million carefully restoring the skyscraper's Art Deco motifs while upgrading the core set.
Tishman Speyer, who was one of the buyers or one of the owners in the late 90s, actually brought Abu Dhabi in, stayed on as custodian and part owner.
Right, okay, so now it would be a case of Blu-rays.
And if they buy it, it'll be really interesting.
The Chrysler building could end up with the same fate as a certain other New York icon that, funny enough, is facing almost exactly the same struggle.
Jeff Garral prominently is the one who recently bought the Flatiron building at auction and is now turning it into luxury condos. And the other link with me was that
All right.
Jeff Garral, for a
That makes more sense. We can put that there. Okay.
pretty well connected.
It depends how many of these I've got, whether or not we're. I'm not buying these at nearly the same rate that I buy other stuff. So certain ones that I know I'm not going to need frequently are going to go there.
The building currently has a vacancy rate between 14 and 20%. So it's clear something has been happening. The Chrysler building now stands at a crossroads. It's a reminder of an era when America built not just for profit, but for prestige.
All right,
But its value is something.
we're getting somewhere. So the Blu-rays will be up the top bit here.
And I know you
Kind of just makes a bit more sense.
As I do when you look at it. This isn't just a building, it's much more than a building. It's
So I'll grab all these small cases and then that's it. Because I've got the one for the Shining there. I need to check nothing went down there and then that's it. For this part of it anyway.
This video was sponsored by
We might well go into the glass case depending on
World Environment.
my phone's battery.
You can try out the SJB Triumph ecosystem at the link below. And as always, guys, if you enjoyed this video and you want to get more from the definitive video channel for construction,
Right,
make sure to
check.
subscribe at the end.
No stragglers, nothing hanging around. Alright.
Synonymous with the skyscraper. From the Chrysler building to the super cool the Billionaires Row, this city never stops reinventing itself through its buildings.
Alright, conclusion. I have far too many PS2 games. No, it's a free set. Honestly, I'm going to count how many sit in there in a moment. There's a guy, it's called OMV Bricks. He makes super tactical droids in full colour, full moulded, and for good prices. They are brilliant. I will be buying some at some point.
In New York, that was once the Chrysler building. Capitalism colliding with art and hubris to reign supreme over the skyline. The city's tallest building has, of course, changed hands many times since. But the Chrysler's become a landmark in the one place above all others that's now synonymous with the skyscraper.
See, I don't.
It's set to be covered up by a new generation of glass-covered office channels.
These are fine controllers. I don't really use a whole bunch, but I have got a couple extra 360 controllers. Should I need them?
Simply wouldn't be the place it is today without the skyscraper. When it was first formed millions of years ago, its geographic size wasn't that notable. And if it stayed a small low-rise island, it probably wouldn't have amounted to much. But these remarkable structures rising from the island's solid bedrock.
Right, let's see what that battery percentage is looking like. Then we'll decide if we're going to tackle this. We're going to do it. So I'll move the guitar and it's stand over here. If we do it now, it's done. Ah! Great. Just great. Ugh.
And now let's say it again in the 2020s. New York is reflected in its skyscrapers.
Right. Yeah, I'm alright. Some things got knocked off by a box. But we're going to do some stuff here quickly that needs to be done.
Greatness of New York is perhaps most spectacularly seen in its buildings. For here on the island of Manhattan is the most impressive concentration of stone and steel masonry the world has ever
Right.
New York is synonymous with skyscrapers. It's what everybody around the world thinks of first when you say.
Yeah, we're going to get to over an hour in the stream, but hopefully this little task here only takes me 10 minutes.
It was Joseph Campbell who famously said that you can tell a lot about a city and what drives it by its tallest buildings. In medieval times, it was often the spire of a cathedral. In 18th century towns, it was the political palace. And in 1920s New York, it was the office building. The American dream embodied by steel and sheer grit, the skyscraper was capitalism incarnate. The roaring 20s was a decade defined by excess and wealth, one which marked the
So the goal is to put the
from London to New York.
record player on the bottom.
It all gave rise to the Chrysler Building, a shining beacon that announced the city's arrival.
I think it'll work, and if it doesn't, I'm probably going to start shouting. It means I can use the top of that cabinet for something else, because it's looked that way since... Oh, it's looked that way a while.
Carol Willis is an architectural historian and the founder of New York's Skyscraper Museum.
Well, skyscrapers in New York and everywhere are really commercial architecture. They are buildings which are constructed to make money.
The Chrysler Building's existence was fueled by the fierce rivalry of two former business partners, architects Craig Severance and William Manhattan. Severance was hired to design the Manhattan Co. building, now known as 40 Wall Street, while Van Allen was asked to design the both designed the skyscraper, and both would do pretty much anything to make that happen. As the planning and construction of each skyscraper took place, the designers from either side would steal the buildings. The Manhattan Co. building began adding more and more floors, pushing the limits of what its foundations could handle in a desperate attempt to best Chrysler. And it seems to work. The building completed in 1930 and was the tallest in the world for about a month. Van Allen had ingeniously constructed a secret spire inside the crown of the Chrysler building. Once the Manhattan Co. building was finished, the spire was pushed up through the roof into place, dramatically beating the other tower by 36 meters. But when the Chrysler building first appeared on the skyline, many thought it was an eyesore, and yet today it's held up as one of the greatest examples of Art Deco architecture. It's an unbelievably iconic landmark, one of the emblems of New York.
Well, the Chrysler Building, everybody loves the Chrysler Building. It's such a wacky skyscraper. Everything about it is an expression of the moment in the 1920s. Recognizability, iconicity is something that has value in and of itself. When you say, you know, I work in the Chrysler building, people know where you work.
Walter Chrysler had wanted his skyscraper to represent opulence and luxury, but that didn't go over well as the Roaring Twenties came to a screeching halt with the crash of the New York Stock Exchange and the onset of the Great Depression. The city where this worldwide economic crisis began had at the same time built a 390-metre monument to capitalism. Unemployment rates were at their peak. Nearly a third of New York City's population was out of work. The extravagance of the 20s was over. Despite all the effort that had gone into making the Chrysler Building the world's tallest skyscraper, it only held the title for 11 months until the Empire State Building completed astonishingly quickly in 1930. Then, the Great Depression and the Second World War conspired to create a 40-year period without any record-breaking skyscrapers in New York. The city's focus was elsewhere, and that chapter of its history is recorded in a period of absent high-rises. When the skyscraper did finally make a comeback, it had to be seriously rebuilt.
Sorry about the lack of commentary, I'm just finishing up.
I never could do that.
By the 1960s, New York was a different
This was being said.
Hey.
Hey.
Strikes and violence. It was a time of radical change and unrest.
Yeah, sure, man. Whatever you need to do. I'll be anything off in a couple of minutes anyway.
All weren't right for buildings. It became all about simplicity and function. In an attempt to revitalise the then struggling Lower Manhattan, Japanese-American architect Minoru Yamasaki was selected to design the World Trade Center in 1962. He put forward an idea for two enormous twin towers, a pair of grey monoliths that were almost an extreme iteration of modernism. They had sleek straight lines, were aggressively vertical, and had none of the step-back or details of New York City's Art Deco skyscrapers. These were buildings born out of a very different New York.
110 stories times 2 buildings, 220 acres of office space. That's as many square feet as exist in many downtowns of second-tier cities.
Yamasaki's fear of heights meant the towers had relatively narrow windows, just 45 centimetres wide. They only covered 30% of each building, solid metal slabs from a distance. Now, at the time, it wasn't economically feasible to build a skyscraper more than 80 stories tall, because of the space that elevator shafts would take up on the floor plate. The higher you build, the more people you have living or working up the building, and the more elevators you need. Particularly structures like this that don't taper and have a huge floor plates, even at the summits. That all means more elevator banks eating up metal floor space. Elevators don't pay rent. To get around this, Yamasaki and his team designed sky lobbies on the 44th and 78th floors of each tower that would break up the elevator journey. Crucially, that meant that different elevators could use the same shaft and reduce the overall number of shafts needed on the floor plate. It enabled the buildings to rise 110 stories above the city, but also created a mini commute for anyone with an office above a sky lobby floor. Structural engineering also was involved to make these towers possible. The support columns of the towers were both the central core, like a traditional skyscraper, and around the outside of the buildings. This essentially made each tower a sort of box within a box, joined by horizontal trusses at each level. This meant there were no support columns within the actual floor plates, allowing for vast open space.
The Twin Towers of the World Trade Center is a real anomaly in the history of the skyscraper in New York, not just because they were the tallest buildings in the world, they were also exceptional because they were built by government.
The towers finally opened their doors
I'm back in a moment.
in 1973 to a public who'd grown weary of them. The project cost the equivalent of $4.5 billion in today's money and had reportedly come at the expense of public transportation facilities. Some residents of Lower Manhattan were still angry at having to be relocated, and critics said the towers looked like filing cabinets. All the boxes that the Empire State and Chrysler Building were delivered in.
But we're coming very close to the end of the stream.
steadily became embraced.
One more going to be streaming for like 20 minutes, is probably the most I'll be able to get at this point. But we're trying.
Heart-stopping tidal report between them in 1974. The Twin Towers became synonymous with the city itself. The Micro Machine Man here presenting a dinner movie with most replaceable, most mythic interruptions of the real thing. Micro Machine. Big hair, big ideas, big buildings. The 80s were about risk, excess, and glitz. It was a time when subtlety was thrown out the window. If you were going to do something, you had to be bold.
Right, I'm just getting these last few bits done. I'm happy, alright. We got some work done that was desperately needing done. A few things here on the bed, and then we've got to take this remote through. That's for the other TV. Well, that's like 11 o'clock at night now.
Wall Street boom and falling unemployment spurred on the real estate market, though at the same time, the city was experiencing record crime and soaring murder rates. This was a place of contradictions, of division, of glamour alongside poverty and violence, but of extreme wealth and opportunity too. Rising from all of it was a new skyscraper on Fifth Avenue that comes to embody the ethos of the era.
I'm going to grab all these little bits and pieces, 'cause that's pretty much me done doing things for tonight. At this point on, just going to be relaxing.
It contains some of New York's most prestigious residential, commercial, and retail spaces, as well as an high waterfall and a rumoured gold toilet. Some may call it gaudy, others may call it pure luxury, and that may be precisely the point.
Memory cards for the PS2, rechargeable packs, all that stuff. It's going there for now. There are some posters and stuff that I might put up. I've just not had the chance. They can go there until I get round to seeing what I want to do with those.
Donald Trump had his eyes on the site for years, and when he acquired it in 1979, he planned to demolish the building to make way for his own skyscraper. He hired architect Das Goods, who later told New York Magazine of Trump's vision for the site. It has to flash to be good. Preservationists wanted to save a pair of 4-metre Art Deco sculptures and a large nickel-plated grille over the store's entrance. Both were promised to the Metropolitan Museum of Art, but were ultimately destroyed when the effort to preserve them was found to be causing construction delays. And it wasn't the only controversy surrounding the building or this particular skyscraper.
But here we are, right? So, recap. We managed to get all the new setup done with the TV. It looks great. Wires are no longer a problem. Managed to put some stuff in storage under there, and we have successfully fixed out all of this. So, I'll be seeing... I've got to fix Yoda here. Perfect, because there's going to action figure display. But I will see you guys in tomorrow's stream. We're going to get back to working on these shelves. I'll try and have maybe another short out or two. Thank you very much for watching.